Hello and welcome to the module number 2, lesson number 4, polymorphism and method overloading. In this lesson, we are going to learn the topics about introduction to the polymorphism, method overloading introduction, advantages and disadvantages of method overloading, conditions for method overloading samples or the demo code, and the key points to note about the method overloading concepts. Let us look at a basic introduction to the concept of polymorphism. Polymorphism means to take on many forms, as the word suggests, polymorphism. An object showing different behaviors at different stages of its life cycle is known as polymorphism in Java. Polymorphism allows actions to act differently based on the object performing the action or the action being performed on the object. Polymorphism is achieved in Java mainly by its features overloading and overriding. Overloading can be done on two things in a programming language: on operators, which is called operator overloading, and on methods called method overloading. In languages like C or C++, we implement the concept of operator overloading. However, Java does not support the concept of operator overloading. So we are only left with method overloading as per Java. Now let us look at the method overloading part. Method overloading is a feature that allows a class to have two or more methods to have same name with their method signature being different, which means there can be a duplication in the name of the method, which is normally illegal, but if their arguments are different, the name can exist more than once. So, if there is a name duplication allowed, their argument list are to be different. Method overloading occurs when multiple member functions are required with the same name because of the same scope or functionality. The calls to the overloaded function or method will run a specific implementation of that method, the one appropriate to the context of the call. This allows one function call to perform different tasks depending on the context. Method overloading is also called compile time polymorphism or static polymorphism, as it takes effect during the compile time only. Let us look at the syntax for the method overloading concept. Overloaded methods can be written inside a class like this. If you have a class with the class name written, and then the overloaded methods can be written like this, with the return type in the beginning and the method name followed by the method body. That's the first method, and the same method name for another method with return type, method name, and the parameter list being different this time. Maybe data type 1 followed by variable 1, only one parameter. Again, the same method name for return type, method, and data type 1 variable 1, comma, data type 2 variable 2. Again, another method where we have return type, method, data type 2 variable 2, and this list can go on to endless contexts. Observe that all the times that we defined the method name has remained to be same, but the parameter parts has been different. Sometimes there was no parameter, sometimes it was one parameter, sometimes two parameters. Even if you have the same number of parameters, the types of parameter must be different. Let us formally look at the conditions that are required for method overloading. The number of parameters have to be different for different methods, though the method name is same. The parameter types are different, not necessarily totally different, but not exactly identical when the number of parameters are same. What are the advantages of doing method overloading? The actual method that gets called during runtime is resolved at the compile time. Thus, we are able to avoid the runtime errors. Overloading will provide clarity to the code and also eliminate the complexity. It will also enhance runtime performance. What are the disadvantages that we have? It is recommended to avoid overloading across inheritance boundaries because it can cause confusion. Overloading becomes cumbersome to developers if used excessively. It can reduce the readability and maintainability of code if user-defined types are used excessively as parameters. Let us look at an example. Class overload demo is the class that we have for using overloading concept, where I have two methods. Public void add, in which I am adding two integer values, int a and int b, taken as parameters, and int c is equal to a plus b is done on that. We are printing the added value using system.out.println. The addition of a comma b is, and displaying the c value. Then in the next method, we have public void add with the same name. However, here we are doing string addition, where I am taking two parameters as string a and string b. Again, string c takes the result of a plus b, and then string c is printed in the next line with the addition of a comma b is and c being displayed. Then I have the public class use overloading, in which I have the public static void main, where I am creating an object for the overload demo class. Overload demo a1 equals to new overload demo, and I am calling the two methods add for two different values. A1 dot add of 20, 30, where I am adding two integers, and A1 dot add welcome, home, where I am adding two string values. The concept of overloading, if you look at in the example that we have just seen, observe that it becomes very easy for a user or for a programmer, because when you have overloading, you can call the same method based on your usage at the point when you want to give the parameters. Something like, suddenly I want to add integers, I can give 20, 30 like in the value that we have given, or if I want to add strings, I use the same method but I give different sets of parameters. As a user, I do not need to remember many different type of method names if I want to add integers or strings or double values or anything else. Let us look at the concept of constructor overloading. Though we have already seen the concept of constructors in module number 1 and also the concept of writing more than one constructor in the previous lessons, we understand that constructors are similar to methods. Like methods, constructors can also be overloaded. Here is an example. Class TV, where I have integer price and string color as instance variables and static integer model number as a static variable. Now I have constructor public TV, into which I am sending the parameter integer model number. I am assigning the value of this integer model number parameter, which is a local variable, to the static variable model number using this dot model number equals to model number, and I am printing the model number using the print statement system.out.println model number, which is premium these days, and giving the model number. I have the next constructor, which is public TV, where I am giving integer price and string color as the parameters into the public TV constructor, and these two variables, the local variables price and color, I am assigning to the instance variables price and color using this dot price is equal to price and this dot color equals to color. The next, I have a method called public void TV after 1 year, and I have the statement price is equal to price plus 12,000, because after 1 year the price of the TV is going to increase by 12,000. I have a print statement where I am printing price after 1 year from today, and I am giving the price and the model number using the model number variable. I have the public class use TV, in which I have my public static void main, where I am trying to use these constructors. I am creating an instance for the TV class using TV onida1 equals to new TV, and I am passing the model number 5678, and then I am calling the second constructor TV onida equals to new TV, and I am passing the price and color 15,000 and blue. Now I am calling the TV after 1 year method for the second object that I created, onida.tv after 1 year. When I execute this program, I will get the output as model number, which is premium these days, 5678, because the first constructor prints the model number with the statement, and then for the second constructor, which we call by creating the second object, and then we call the TV after 1 year method, we get the price after 1 year from today, 27,000 for model number 5678. Why are we able to retain the model number when I passed the 5678 as a value for the model number? Because it is a static variable, and static variable values will not change based on the objects. So the 5678 model number is retained in the same variable for different objects. Though we are using the 5678 model number in different constructors, due to the static variable, I am able to use it for different objects. Let us now look at the different examples for method overloading. The first example, where there is a difference in the number of parameters in the argument list that we are passing. I have the class display overloading, in which I have two methods. Public void display, which takes a parameter character, and the variable name is character C, and I want to print that variable immediately in the next line in my method, system.out.println C. I have one more method which is also named as display, disp, where I am taking two parameters, character C and integer num. Here I am printing system.out.println C and num values one by one with a space. Observe that we have two methods with the same name, but the number of parameters are different. We are going to use those in the class sample, in which I have the public static void main. I am creating an object for the display overloading class, display overloading obj equals to new display overloading, and I am calling the two display methods, obj.display of A, which is for the first method that I am passing the parameter, and for second method calling obj.display of A, 10. When I execute this program, I get the output as A and A10. We have the example 2 for the method overloading, in which there is a difference in data types of arguments. Let us consider the class display overloading 2, in which I have two more methods which are also named as public void display, wherein in the first method I am taking public void display character C as my argument, and I am immediately printing that character C value in the next line, and the second method I am taking public void display int C as my parameter. Class sample 2, which I have the public static void main, I am creating an object display overloading 2 obj equals to new display overloading 2, and I am passing parameters by calling the display method for the object obj.display of A and obj.display of 5. Once I execute, I get the output as A and 5 in two different lines. Here if you observe, we have the same number of parameters for the both methods, but the type of arguments or the type of parameter values that we are passing are different. Here is a final example for the method overloading concept, where I have the same number of parameters and same type of parameters for the methods. However, the sequence in which we are using the parameters is different. Consider the example class display overloading 3, in which I have the two display methods, public void display, where I am taking two parameters, character C, integer num, and I am printing those two values using system.out.println. First method display with value num for C, and public void display int num and character C as two parameters, and I am printing those two values using the system.out.println. Second method display with value num for C. Here we have class sample3, where I have my public static void main display overloading 3 obj equals to new display overloading 3, and I am passing two parameters, and I am calling the two methods obj.display of x, 51 and obj.display of 52, y, and I will get the output when I execute the program as first method display with values 51 for x and second method display with value 52 for y. Observe that what we are achieving through these two different methods is same. However, we are allowed to have the same type of parameters but in a different order, which makes sense that the method signature is different. Note that we can have the methods with same type of parameters but in a different order, but we cannot have the methods with same type of parameters and same sequence, though we are giving the return type as void or any other type. Let us look at some valid or invalid cases of method overloading. Let me take the case 1. Integer, my method int a, int b, float c as parameters, and int my method int var1, int var2, float var3 as parameters. The result will be a compile time error because argument lists are exactly same. Both methods having the same number of data types and same sequence of the data types in the arguments. Consider case 2. Int my method int a, int b, int my method float var1, float var2. It's perfectly fine because valid case for overloading, here the data types of arguments are different totally. Let us consider case 3. Int my method int a, int b has two parameters, int my method int num only single parameter. This is also perfectly fine because it's a valid case for overloading. Here the number of arguments are different. Case 4. Float my method, where I am giving two parameters int a, float b, and float my method float var1, int var2. This is also perfectly fine, though we have same type of parameters but they are in a reversed order. Case 5. Int my method int a, int b, float my method int var1, int var2. This will be a compile time error because the argument lists are exactly same even though the return type of the methods are different, so it is not a valid case. Since the return type of method doesn't matter while overloading, we should not use two different methods with the same set of parameters and same sequence with two different return types. Let us look at two examples for the method overloading and guess the validity for these programs. Look at the question 1. The return type is different, method name and argument list are same. Class demo, in which I have my public int my method with parameter list int num1, int num2, and I have a print statement. Then I am returning num1 plus num2. I have another method public int my method int var1, int var2, and I have a print statement in the next line, and I am returning the var1 minus var2. In the class sample4, I have the public static void main where I am creating an object for the demo class obj1, and I am calling the method my method. Will it be a valid type? No. The answer is it will throw a compile time error because more than one method with the same name and argument list cannot be defined in the same class. Let us look at the question 2. Here the return type is different but the method name and argument list are same. Class demo 2, in which we have public void my method with argument list int num1, int num2, and there is a num1 plus num2 in the first statement, and there is a print statement afterwards. In the next method, we have public int my method, int var1, int var2. We have a print statement. Afterwards, we have the return statement var1 minus var2. Observe, in the method 1 we have void type and we are not returning anything. In the second method we have int as the return type and we are returning the var1 minus var2, the integer value. In class sample 5, I have the public static void main where I am creating object for the demo2 class obj2 and I am trying to call the method twice. Will it be a valid type? The answer is no. It will throw an compilation error. Why? Because here we have more than one method with the same name and also the argument list being same, which cannot be given in the class even though the return type is different. Method return type does not matter in case of overloading. Let us summarize and look at the important points once again in the method overloading concept. To call an overloaded method, it must be to use the type and or number of arguments to determine which version of the overloaded method to actually call. Overloaded methods may have different return types. The return type alone is insufficient to distinguish two versions of a method. When Java encounters a call to an overloaded method, it simply executes the version of the method whose parameters match with the arguments used in the call. If none of the methods in the class match the parameters list used in the call, it will just throw an error. An overloaded method can throw different exceptions. An overloaded method can have different access modifiers also.